Simon has a brain. You either do what Simon says, or else go down the drain.
Back in the 1970s, nobody talked about brain health, mental fitness, or memory support. The closest thing we had to a wellness trend was drinking Tang because astronauts did it. But here's the funny thing. A lot of those ordinary 1970s habits we did without thinking, the phone numbers we memorized, the games we played, the errands we ran, might actually be helping us more now than we ever realized. So kick back, picture the rotary phone, the wood paneling, and the scent of lemon pledge drifting through the house. And let's see what your 70s self accidentally trained you for. Number 1. Memorizing phone numbers. We were walking Rolodexes.
Come on. Come on, 3 times, 1 down. Sorry, Charlie. Hello?
Before smartphones, we had something better. Brains that stored every phone number in a 10-mile radius. You knew your best friend's number, your grandma's number, the school office, the pizza place, and maybe even the neighbor who borrowed sugar 3 times a week.
Area code 314. St. Louis, Missouri, on the banks of the Mississippi. It's here, on the way north from New Orleans, that the blues stayed for good.
Bell telephone ads taught us to dial with pride, and those rotary phones forced us to think about every digit. If you messed up the 8th number, you started all over again. A memory workout disguised as everyday life. We didn't call it cognitive training, we called it pick up the phone and hope nobody else is on the line. And today, that repetition and recall is still tucked somewhere in your brain, waiting to show off when someone asks, "Do you remember your childhood phone number?" Number 2. Writing everything down, the original external hard drive.
You probably know this little Bic pen. It's so reliable, it's become most people's right hand. Well, now we have a surprise for you.
The 70s were powered by Bic pens, fridge lists, wall calendars, shopping notes, and those little reminder scraps tucked in pockets until they went through the wash. We didn't rely on apps, we relied on handwriting, lists for groceries, lists for chores, lists for things to remind myself I already reminded myself about. And writing things down has a magical way of sticking in the brain, not because a doctor said so, but because that's how we kept track of life before sticky notes were invented. If you still reach for pen and paper today, that's your 70s muscle memory doing its thing. Number 3. Studying the TV guide like it was sacred scripture.
For a while, westerns ruled television. Then detectives were in. Now, sickness is the trend on primetime television. TV Guide explains why. Then find out why documentaries don't have the emotional and political punch that they once seemed to have. And learn why it's not magic, but complex mechanics that brings a television picture to your set. Look for Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno of The Incredible Hulk on the cover of the new issue of TV Guide.
TV Guide ruled the household. You circled shows, highlighted movie nights, and planned your week around the one time something aired. Miss it, and you'd never see it again until a Thanksgiving marathon 5 years later.
This week in TV Guide, does TV violence beget real-life violence?
Families sat around TV trays, magazines open, arguing over which show took priority depending on whose turn it was. All that planning, remembering air times, and coordinating schedules. That was mental gymnastics. We didn't realize it. We just didn't want to miss happy days. Number 4. Repeating names out loud because our parents made us polite. When you met someone in the 1970s, you used their name right away. Nice to meet you, Linda. This is my friend Karen. Thanks again, Mr. Thompson. It was polite, it was expected, and it was basically a stealth memory exercise. Catalog ads, school orientations, church events, every social moment involved repeating names like tiny flashcards. Today, people say they're bad with names. But your 70s self? Your 70s self could remember the entire neighborhood. Number 5. Doing one thing at a time because that's all technology allowed. The 1970s didn't believe in multitasking, not because it was a wellness trend, but because life simply didn't allow it. You read a magazine or you didn't. You watched a show or you waited until next week. You knitted, folded laundry, or did a puzzle, one at a time. Our brains got used to focusing because distractions didn't exist in 47 different tabs. That kind of attention builds memory without even trying. And honestly, a little single tasking today still feels like peace. All right, real talk. If you've watched more of these nostalgia trips than you memorized phone numbers back in the 70s, it's time to subscribe. I'll keep the memories coming. You just hit that button and we'll call it even. And if you're on Facebook, come join our retro gang. It's basically the neighborhood we grew up in, just with fewer lawn darts. Number 6. Singing along to every song on the radio, whether we could sing or not.
We could tell you that Pioneer's PL518 probably offers today's best value in a direct drive turntable. We could tell you its tone arm rides on 10 times the conventional number of ball bearings for smoother tracking, or that its direct drive motor all but eliminates wow and flutter. But nothing we tell you will be as convincing as this.
Transistor radios blaring, record players skipping, K-tel commercials reminding us exactly what lyrics we were supposed to memorize.
I saved a little extra money to make this holiday and bought something fabulous. The Superscope AM/FM portable radio.
We knew entire albums, word for word, without ever reading the sleeve. Singing along wasn't just fun, it locked lyrics into long-term memory like nothing else. Nobody called it cognitive stimulation. We called it, turn it up, it's my song. And let's be honest, you still know every word to Take It Easy, don't you? Number 7. Remembering directions without GPS, left at the oak tree. Take a left at the hardware store, then right at the big oak tree, and if you hit the barn with the rooster weather vane, you went too far. That was Google Maps in 1978. We used paper maps, mental maps, and the turn when it feels right approach. Road trips relied on atlases big enough to double as a booster seat. All those landmarks, turns, and visual clues kept our spatial memory firing on all cylinders. No recalculating, no rerouting, just intuition and a glove compartment map. Number 8. Playing low-tech games that actually worked the brain.
Simon sets the pace. You follow right along. Light the lights that Simon lights, or he'll tell you that you're wrong. Simon's a computer. Simon has a brain. You either do what Simon says, or else go down the drain.
Remember Perfection, the most stressful game on earth? Or Simon, Memory Match, puzzles, and every card game your grandparents insisted on teaching you? These games weren't just entertainment. They were stealth brain training, patterns, sequences, shapes, strategies. We didn't have apps telling us we were working our memory. We just jumped when perfection exploded. Number 9. Talking to neighbors. All day long, whether we wanted to or not. In the 70s, you couldn't walk to the mailbox without running into 3 neighbors, a dog, and someone returning a casserole dish you didn't remember lending them. Front porches, backyard BBQs, Tupperware parties, conversation happened constantly. And conversation, real face-to-face, non-text message conversation, keeps the brain sharp. But we didn't know that. We were just trying to get home before Mrs. Patterson started telling stories again. Number 10. Running errands all day, the Memory Olympics. Forgot milk? Go back. Forgot bread? Go again. Forgot flour? Say goodbye to your afternoon. Errands in the 70s were constant, repetitive, and somehow always urgent. Grocery bags, drugstore trips, gas station stops, all requiring little bursts of planning and recall. Plus lots of walking, lots of fresh air, and lots of what was I supposed to get again? Moments. And somehow, we remembered. The truth is, the 1970s didn't try to keep our minds sharp, they just did. Life was slower, simpler, more hands-on, and full of tiny habits that kept our brains humming without us even noticing. So, if you're over 60 today, give your 70s self a little credit. You built a lifetime of memory skills without a single app, planner, or reminder alert. Not bad for a decade held together by shag carpet and station wagons.